So originally, I didn't want to make this video. I didn't feel like it was really worth my place making this video just because my channel is not a primary Nintendo product or gaming channel. I mean, I don't even use that much Nintendo footage on here, if any, due to the fact that, their whole content ID apocalypse and all that happened on YouTube. However, the more I thought about it, the more I really had things that I wanted to say with the matter of Satoru Iwata passing away. But I don't want this to be a mournful video in any way. I want this to be a happy video. I want it to really celebrate Satoru Iwata, and I want to, put out that I respect what he did and talk about it a bit. And with that, I was kind of judging morality on it and everything, of course. As I said, I decided I want to make the video even though originally I wasn't going to do it. But I'm going to say one thing. I will not be monetizing this video. It is just a little gesture to me because personally, if I monetized a video speaking on behalf of a person passing away, especially a person I never even personally knew, I just don't feel right making money off that, whether it be 2 pennies or $2. And aside from that, I do have plenty of other videos on my channel that are monetized, so I'm fine there. There's no worries about that. Now, for anyone that doesn't know, this was the most recent Nintendo president. Satoru Iwata started at Nintendo, I believe, in 1983. He became the president in 2002, and he passed away last night in 2015, July 12th to be exact. I might not have agreed with many things Nintendo did in previous generations, even in this current generation. And Nintendo might not be my favorite gaming company. In fact, I don't really have a favorite gaming company, honestly. If I had to say I was, one brand and I had to pick something, I would probably say Sony because I've always enjoyed, most of the time, I've enjoyed Sony consoles more than the competition. But I do have a lot to admire with Nintendo, and even if you hate Nintendo but you play video games, you have to admit they've done several good things for the gaming industry, most notably bringing it out of the crash that it had originally, well, one of the video game crashes at least. If it wasn't for Nintendo, we probably wouldn't have a big game industry like we did now, and the only reason why we have that is because Nintendo marketed their very first console as an entertainment system and bundled Rob the Robot with it to market it as a toy, because at that time, after all the Atari stuff and all the failed game systems, no store in the right mind would ever handle a video game console or try and sell one. And look what happened. Now, Mr. Iwata was also a developer at heart. He worked prior to becoming president. He worked on Earthbound, Kirby, the Pokemon games, Gold, Silver, Red, Green, and Pokemon Stadium. And what impressed me that I did not know until today is that he even created some compression tools for Gold and Silver. He was a gamer and he was a programmer at heart. As I said, that really impressed me, especially since I was a coder for a bit, and hey, that stuff is not easy. And even after becoming a president of Nintendo, he still worked on Zelda, Mario, Animal Crossing, a few other games, and even allowed insight into Nintendo with the Iwata Ask series, which I don't really see many other companies doing, which is just fantastic for this. Now, as I said, I might not be the biggest Nintendo fan out there. I might not show that much footage of Nintendo games or show Nintendo a whole lot of love on this channel. And one of the reasons, for footage at least is, as I said, because of copyright reasons, which Nintendo decided to do, which I really didn't agree with. So there were a lot of things that Nintendo did, even previous generations, that I didn't agree with on a technical level. But I will agree that Iwata himself did play a vital part not only in my childhood, but many other people's childhood, and you might not even realize it if you don't have a Nintendo system or don't play Nintendo games, but I guarantee most of the developers behind the games that you know and love that aren't on Nintendo systems or aren't Nintendo based are developers that loved some of Nintendo's games, if not maybe even all of them, and might have been inspired by Nintendo games. There's games everywhere, all over the industry, that have pulled either direct or indirect inspiration from Nintendo games because of that, and these are games that Iwata himself has touched and worked on. Yesterday, before Mr. Iwata's death, I had a friend over, and you know what we did? We played a bunch of video games. We played Arkham Knight, and we finished that together, which I thought was a great game. Afterwards, he wanted to try out Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. I gave him the controller, and I had to pretty much rip it away from him because surprisingly, he loved the game and was so zoned in on it while playing the campaign. Now, these games aren't related to Nintendo at all. I mean, neither of those games are even on a Nintendo platform, but the reason why I'm bringing that up is because one of Nintendo's core values, I feel like, with their games, that they've wanted people to come together. They wanted people to have fun, because at the end of the day, that is what gaming is all about, and I feel like Mr. Iwata did a great job with that with his games, with the projects that he touched. And because of that, it's inspired, as I said, so many other developers to create games that we know and love that aren't touching Nintendo platforms. And that bond that my friend and I had yesterday over video games, that's the type of stuff that Iwata wanted to communicate and transfer to all of us through the work that he's done, through the work that his company did. Without him, I might not have been able to play some of my favorite games. He might not have influenced some of my games. I might not have even been a gamer because I don't know what the industry would have looked like if Iwata didn't exist. And even in addition to that, I know he is not the only person that created Mario, but because of him, my name might not even be Mr. Mario 2011. Now, in this sensitive time of his passing, there are so many people worldwide who are mourning right now. His family, of course, I really wish them the best. Nintendo, I hope they continue to prosper. And especially with the new president, I hope their new president can definitely still bring something great to the table. And of course, gamers across the world who have loved Nintendo games are mourning this loss as well. You've even seen Xbox and PlayStation executives talk about this publicly and, really hold Iwata in a high light because they all looked up to him. But I'm excited at the same time to see upcoming developments and directions that Nintendo, that their companies and all that are going to be taking. But at the same time, I'm really heartbroken about this. I'm heartbroken that Iwata's not going to be around to see the fruition of Project NX. I'm heartbroken that he's not going to see the continuity of the Wii U and the 3DS, and that he won't even be able to enjoy some upcoming anticipated games like Star Fox Zero, or even play his new characters in Smash Bros. Or Mario Kart. Now, how can we mourn for him? Because mourning is always a difficult thing, and I myself, I don't like to mourn that much, but it happens. I think we should celebrate him. Dust off an old Nintendo system, a Super Nintendo, an N64, play some classics. If you don't have that, play any new games and have fun, because that's what gaming should be. What am I going to do in this moment? Of course, I'm not hurting nearly as much as other people because I didn't know this guy personally, but to celebrate his life, not mourn his death. I'm making this video right now. After this, I'm going to render it out and everything, have fun editing it. I'm going to talk with my friend Dopesoner, who I met, through video games and all that, for our podcast, so a little bit of a teaser right there. And then if I have time this evening, I'm going to play some games. I'm probably going to play through a little more of Life is Strange because I've really enjoyed that and I wanted to get back to it after finishing Arkham Knight. But just this morning, I woke up and for some reason before work I had some free time and I said, I want to play a few races on Mario Kart 8. So I fired it up and I played a few races on there. For my final words for this video, I want to quote Iwata right here with something he said at GDC 2005. Quote, "On my business card, I am a corporate president. In my mind, I am a game developer. But in my heart, I am a gamer." Unquote. As a term of respect, I will say rest in peace Satoru Iwata. But what I want to say in this time of mourning amongst everyone in the gaming community is thank you, Mr. Iwata, for everything you've done, whether we've embraced your methods or questioned them.